What if Count Dooku swapped Order 66 with Order 65? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. As the transmission cuts off, Dooku leans back and considers the news. It is shocking to say the least. He has long known about the clone inhibitor chips and their commands, but no one should know about this. He knows he must ensure that this secret never gets out. Yet, at the same time, there is also an opportunity. The war is drawing to a close, and he still has no idea what his master's plan is, and begins to work against him. He is about to order his droid forces to capture the clone, but then tells them to bring it to him right away, as well as sending them with extra orders. Soon enough, the medical convoy escorting Tup back to Republic space comes under attack by the CIS. Though the clone forces try to hold them back, they are wiped out, and Tup is captured. The attack takes the Republic off guard. While they know the CIS has been putting up a strong resistance and has been gaining ground, attacking such a small convoy makes no sense, especially when there was only one clone being escorted. Fives in particular was worried by this. Tup was his friend, and something was very wrong here, and Anakin agreed. Along with Captain Rex, they try to recapture Tup. Yet, as they cut through the guards, the super tactical droid suddenly hits a hidden switch that calls for a squadron of vulture droids that swarm the shuttle. They immediately take out the ship's engines and leave them drifting in space.
Your movements are as predictable as ever, Jedi. Count Dooku calculated your movements to perfection.
Count Dooku? Sir, something is going on here. I'm telling you.
You are correct, and if you wish to learn about the truth, you will do as we say. Otherwise, this secret dies here, along with you.
As he says that, the vulture droids circle and prepare to attack again. He sees the droid is preparing to finish them off and wipes them out. The droid raises his datapad, prepared to give the order. Anakin hefts his lightsaber and prepares to step forward, wondering whether he can pull the tactical droid with the Force before he hits the button. Then he feels a hand on his shoulder. Fives is behind him and shakes his head. His shoulders are tense and worried. Cursing under his breath, Anakin takes a step back and lowers his weapon.
So you guarantee my men will not be harmed?
Of course. Our Count has no desire to hurt his subjects.
Taking a deep breath, the three drop their weapons. The tactical droid nods and orders his pilots to turn the shuttle back to their flagship, where they are taken to the brig. Once they are secure, the dreadnought breaks off from the rest of the fleet and disappears into hyperspace. When they are at last visited by the guards, they are brought out to the ship, and to their surprise, they find themselves on Sereno. Anakin watches the droid warily, as they also wheel out Tup on his stretcher. The clone's body twitches weakly, as he has to be strapped down. The commando droid guard gives him a warning, his photoreceptors seeming fixed on him when his fingers flex, gripping the lightsaber that is no longer in his hands. The four are brought to Dooku's palace, where the Count waits for them in the Grand Hall. His eyes are not focused on the Jedi or the prisoners, though, but on Tup. He touches his forehead and nods. Fives tenses up and tries to twitch under binders.
Ensure this clone gets the medical treatment he needs. Is everything prepared for the procedure?
Procedure?
Of course. This clone is unwell. Or did you think that this incident happened naturally? No. Something has compelled him to act this way, and I intend to show you what.
You seem to know an awful lot about what happened here, Dooku. Why is that?
I know much more than you realize, clone.
Well, if you want us to listen to you, you better start giving some information that's worth something.
Very well, then. I assume Master Kenobi informed you about Cypher-Diaz and his involvement with the creation of the clone army, but I am certain you are not fully familiar with their true nature. The clones were not just modeled physically, they were also coded psychologically to keep them obedient. To accomplish that, the clones had inhibitor chips implanted in their brains, yet they also contained secret command codes in case of emergencies.
Rex and Five instinctively reach towards the backs of their heads. Their eyes widen, and they feel the chips that are there. Yet Anakin remains skeptical. Dooku senses this hesitation and chuckles.
If you doubt me, then you will find the answers in the chips.
Or it could just be a way for you to kill one of my men.
That would be quite a bit of effort, all to kill one soldier.
Careful, separatist.
And if what you say is true, explain to me how you've managed to learn about these inhibitor chips.
Cypher-Diaz was a confidant of mine. He had shared his plans and his ambitions with me before his death.
It is plausible enough, and the Count watches Anakin in particular. There is clearly mistrust in his eyes. He looks over at him, but Dooku ignores him and orders the operation to proceed. He turns and walks away, not even bothering to see if they are following. A moment later, they begin to walk behind him to the table. From the observation deck, they watch as the droid places Tup under anesthesia and begins to operate. Five's eyes remain fixed on Tup's vitals, which spike at several points, but then slowly stabilize as the chip is pulled out. Anakin's eyes widen as he sees the strange device, half combination of circuits and flesh. While Tup is left incapacitated, the droid begins to place the chip into a terminal to analyze the contents. That same data is transmitted to their terminal, where Anakin and his men watch as those hidden orders are now laid bare before them. Orders to hunt down targets, regardless of civilian casualties, to enforce a transition of power, and then a final one, to eliminate the Jedi, if necessary.
What is this?
The full extent of your clone army. The parts the Kaminoans did not tell you about. I suppose they didn't tell you what you were when you joined their army.
If you know about this, why didn't you use it?
The inhibitor chips are programmed, so only the Chancellor can activate it. While it would be useful for me, I cannot do anything. Yet.
But before they can react, Fives screams and lunges towards the Count and knocks him to the ground. Dooku was so surprised that he barely reacted until they were both on the ground. The ARC trooper has his hands gripping the lapels and pushes him to the ground. Fives raises a fist and tries to punch him, but Rex barely manages to hold him back.
You cripping little womp rat. You're referring to us as if we're just pieces on a board for you to use. How many of my brothers died because of this? For this lie?
Rex moves to stop him, but then clenches his fist as he thinks about those questions. Echo, Heavy, Denel, how many others? He clenches his fist, and it's only Anakin who pulls Fives off Dooku, who hardly seems bothered. He simply shakes his head and rubs his throat as he regards the clone with faint amusement, but Anakin pins him down with a look.
Be careful what you do, Dooku. One misstep and I'll send Fives on you again, and I'll help him.
With your cooperation, Skywalker, and the access embedded in your Jedi credentials, we can rewrite the Matrix, head to Kamino and disable the Order, or perhaps redirect it.
And who would you redirect it with?
Who else? My master. The Chancellor.
The Chancellor?
My master. Who else could it be?
No, you're lying.
Really? Who else would benefit from these inhibitor chips? The Chancellor. He is the only one who can activate such an order. I have told you long ago that my master was one who commanded the Senate. He is the one who influences the war. Do you not find it odd that he has been able to consolidate power as the war progressed?
Anakin opens his mouth, but his jaw hangs open. It does all add up, as much as he hates to admit it. Everything makes sense. But it does not mean he has to enjoy it. He crosses his arms.
You want me to help you rewrite their minds, turn them into weapons again, but this time for you.
And you expect us to just accept it? To let you enslave our brothers?
For the Republic, for survival. You've seen the truth, Skywalker. Clones. Surely you can see the necessity of that, Captain.
He's right about one thing. The chips can't stay. You saw what happened to Tup. And how can we be sure that Dooku here will remove them?
You have all the evidence you need to expose me. Present that to the Senate, and they shall ensure the chips are removed eventually. All I ask is that we wait until Palpatine is dealt with. I will leave you to discuss it.
He smiles and bows, sweeping out the room. Yet, as he departs, his mind is already considering the possibilities. It might seem magnanimous, but the Count knows he risks nothing. He spent years learning about Skywalker, understanding how he thinks and acts. He is loyal to his friends, and that is his greatest weakness. When loyalty is turned into anger and betrayal, there is nothing that can stop him. The young one will turn against Palpatine for his betrayal, and nothing is stopping him. If not, then he will be able to strike him down now. Not when that clone remains in his custody.
Sir, you can't seriously be considering this. They need to be removed. All of them. Whatever it takes. Yeah, but first let's take this separatist scum out now. We have the information. Let's take Dooku out and bring this information to the Senate. Or better, confront them to do it. Not just Sidious. Burn the Senate too. They let this happen. They let this happen. And if they didn't, they would have let it happen.
Rex glares at him.
No, we're not turning our army into executioners. We fight for ourselves, not for one Sith, and sure as hell not for Palpatine.
Anakin considers it for a moment. He would want nothing more than to do that, but such actions are risky. and he shakes his head. He feels his anger flashing at Palpatine. The kindly visage of the Chancellor flashes across his mind, replaced with a twisted image and a cruel smile.
No, we need to take Palpatine out, and these chips are our best chance. I hate to admit it, but I think the Count is offering us a good idea.
Dooku watches, patient, letting the silence stretch. Yet when they emerge, he can tell from their faces he is won, as Anakin offers his services. It's not triumph in his eyes, it's calculation. Then he places a hand on his shoulder. It isn't mocking, but a sincere effort to comfort him.
We are all pawns, Skywalker. But you could become a player.
Whatever we do, the chips go. I'm gonna make sure it happens. I promise. No more control. No more leash. That ends now.
Soon enough, a plan is formulated to access the chips. Dooku provides them all the command codes, and Anakin leads his clones back to the Republic's base, an alibi ready and prepared. They emerge in a CIS supply shuttle, one they seem to have recaptured from the Separatists. The Republic forces are confused at their sudden arrival, but Anakin explains everything. The droids had captured Tup and wished to experiment on him. They saw his actions during the Battle of Ringovinda and hoped to replicate that with the rest of the clones. They were trying to access his brainwaves and see what caused it, and create a signal that would compel the rest of the clones to do it. A few of the Republic officers are skeptical about this claim, but given how wild everything was, they decided to accept it and welcome them back. Once they are aboard, Fives guides Tup to a bed as the young clone leans heavily against his friend, making a great show of being wounded. They explain they found him amid one such experiment, and they want to take him back to Camino for analysis. Soon, the Republic frigates depart, charting a course for the watery planet. The scientists on that planet are all too eager to see what might have happened to their clone. They set Tup on a medical table, as techs conduct a thorough mental analysis on him. Fives, Rex, and Anakin are there. The ARC trooper makes a fuss, ensuring that the clone is being treated well and ensures he's not hurt, much to the annoyance of the Kaminoans. As they argue, Anakin and Rex slip out, claiming that they wish to conduct a report on Shaak Ti. Rex does that, keeping the Jedi Master close and ensuring that she and none of the officers leave his sight. This allows Anakin to slip deeper into the facility. He lets his feet guide him to the laboratory where the DNA of Jango Fett is kept. As he is accessing the databanks, he uses the security clearance Dooku provided him. It was what Ventress had used to access these facilities during the Separatist attack on Tapoka City. The computer rings out an acknowledgement, and Anakin finds the secret files opening right before him. He sees the secret commands, the same ones that match what Dooku claims. The Jedi saves a copy on a data chip. He grits his teeth and begins to splice the system in order to access the codes. While he works, his blood begins to roar in his ears as the full extent of his betrayal hits him. That anger continues to guide him as he changes the codes, redirecting instructions among other things. Once that is done, he quickly runs off, leaving the lab just as a pair of clones round the corner, none the wiser. With the data chip in his hand, he makes his way over to Shaak Ti and shows her the document.
Skywalker, where did you come from? Your troops' tests are nearly complete.
That's all right, but there's something else you should see.
He holds up the data chip and slips it into her hand. Shaak Ti raises an eyebrow, but the Jedi raises a finger to her lips and gestures to her for silence. She nods and slips away to view the information in secret. The information that flashes before her leaves her gasping out. She double-checks it and makes sure it is real, and yet she finds no evidence or falsification. When she finds Anakin, the Jedi's face is grim. He bows his head and clenches his fist.
How did you come by this information?
I analyzed it while Tup was captured. I didn't want to tell anyone to avoid raising suspicion, but I think I can trust you.
And what exactly do you hope to do with this information?
We need to take it to the Senate. Have them use it against him so we can arrest him.
Shaak Ti nods, and the two return to the command center, formulating a plan. Rain lashes against the durasteel windows of the Chancellor's spire. Lightning crackles over the city skyline, casting long shadows across the ornate chamber. The chamber roars with tension. Senators fill their pods, leaning forward and wondering what the cause of this emergency meeting is. On the central platform, Anakin stands before the Senate, a hollow display of Kaminoan clone schematics hovering before them. The data chip flickers, showing the deep-seated programming of the inhibitor chips. Beside him, Palpatine watches the boy, his face calm, but hiding his nervousness.
This file confirms that the clones were implanted with chips capable of overriding their free will. One command in particular, Order 66, would compel them to turn on the Jedi, regardless of circumstances. Other commands are equally disturbing. targeting other organizations and individuals.
Gasps echo through the Senate. Murmured outrage swells into full-blown panic. A few senators shout for order, others demand explanations. Chancellor Palpatine rises slowly in his pod, hands folded serenely.
This is indeed the troubling news. I am certain that this Senate shall investigate the matter thoroughly, assuming these commands are indeed real, and not some sort of CIS plot aimed at dividing us.
These codes are Camino rooted, Chancellor. The encryption cannot be faked. And there is another thing I have noticed when I looked into this matter.
Anakin taps his data chip and shows communications, including a recent communication between Palpatine and Lama Su, inquiring about the status of the inhibitor chip in Tup and whether or not it has been compromised.
You have sent this report inquiring about their status, meaning that you had known about these chips, Chancellor.
If this is true, it was a necessary contingency during wartime, and I remind this body that I, more than anyone, have defended the Republic with—
And yet you kept this from us. You hid an entire kill switch in our military.
A storm of voices rise. Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, Padme Amidala, even Mas Amata looks shaken. The vote is swift. By an overwhelming majority, the Senate declares a vote of no confidence. Palpatine is to be arrested and stripped of emergency powers. Palpatine tries to calm them down, gesturing for them to be silent, but he might as well be shouting at the void. Anakin smiles and looks over at him as he fingers his lightsaber and looks ready to apprehend him. When he steps closer, Palpatine leaps out of his reach. It's far from a simple jump, leaping across the room in a single bound and landing on a single repulsor pod. The senator gasps as Palpatine shovels him aside. The Chancellor moves fast. Gone is the calm politician. His expression twists into a cold snarl as he storms through his private corridors. Behind him, the Senate guards try to follow, but Palpatine whirls, and with a surge of dark energy sends them flying. He activates his comm.
Execute Order 66.
Silence.
Command override detected. Executing Order 65.
Palpatine freezes. But as he exits the Senate building, Jedi transports descend on the landing platform. Master Windu, Shaak Ti, and Kit Fisto disembark with precision, surrounded by Coruscant Guard.
Halt, Chancellor.
Cursing, Palpatine unleashes a burst of lightning, forcing the gunship to bank right. It moves away from the fire, and Palpatine continues to sprint. He zigzags as blasters fire upon him from the gunship's turrets. Smoke rises from where the blaster struck, but when it clears, Palpatine is gone.
Target has gone dark. Last known location, sublevel 1313.
Palpatine tears off his ceremonial robes as he dashes through the rain-drenched underworld. He moves with unnatural speed, driving into alleyways, leaping from one crumbling rooftop to another. Above him, he hears gunships flying overhead and riot troopers doubling the patrols on the streets. Billboards flicker with emergency broadcasts.
Former Chancellor Palpatine wanted for crimes against the Republic. All citizens are to report sightings to local security forces.
Every screen in the underworld shows his face. The city is turned against him. Anakin watches the grid of tactical holomaps as he boards the gunship. He tracks seismic readings and movement in the levels below.
He'll vanish into the underworld if we don't catch him soon. Then we go down after him.
The city is in chaos. Sirens wail. Transports veer off course as the skies swarm with patrols. Orders bark through open comms as commanders try to make sense of the Chancellor's betrayal. On foot, Palpatine sprints through the alleys and shadows, his robes soaked and his saber clenched in one hand. Every few steps, clones spot him and open fire. He cuts them down every time, but the numbers grow. The manhunt spreads. Tactical teams flood the lower levels. The Senate is in an uproar. Even Republic Navy vessels move in position over the capital. But he has planned for this. He has a bunker with an escape ship prepared just for an emergency. Behind him, footsteps echo. Shaak Ti steps out of the dark, saber ignited. Anakin at her side.
You fools. You think this will save your Republic? You're already too late.
Maybe. But you will not be there to see it.
He lunges. Anakin meets him head-on, blades clashing over their heads as they lock in battle of wills, both sides trying to push forward. Shaak Ti breaks this deadlock by slashing her blade down. They break off, and the two Jedi thrust their weapons forward while Palpatine is moving. He stumbles, and the fringes of his robe begin to smoke as the blade snags against them. Cursing, he pulls it back and catches their next blow, pushing them aside and using his free hand to throw the bolt of lightning. Shaak Ti jerks her head back as the lightning narrowly misses her, a bolt mere inches from her eye. But while she moves back, Anakin bull rushes. He keeps low and tries to slash at her stomach, but Palpatine parries it. Anakin senses his struggle and pushes it again. Shaak-Ti leaps above him, her lightsaber causing a shockwave as it hits the ground. Palpatine hits the wall and glances up just as Anakin drives his saber at him. The blow narrowly misses as Palpatine twists his hips. He manages to catch each strike, but Palpatine is exhausted, sloppy, desperate. As Anakin looks at him, he finds the Chancellor panting heavily. Yet before he can attack again, blaster fire rings out from the corner as clones arrive. Rex, Fives, and the Coruscant Guard rappel down from a gunship that appears overhead. Palpatine pauses and deflects their attacks, but while he is distracted, Anakin surges forward and sweeps his lightsaber up. It cuts clean through Palpatine's arm and drops him to his knees, hissing.
Do it, Skywalker. Strike me down.
But Anakin lowers his blade.
No, that honor doesn't belong to me. Guys, he's all yours.
Fives and Rex tackle him to the ground and begin beating him with stun batons.
You're under arrest, Chancellor.
The clones surge forward. Palpatine tries to summon the Force, but a stun baton cracks him against his back. Another strikes his side. He falls, crying out as they descend upon him.
He's resisting arrest.
Fox soon joins in and begins to kick him.
This is police brutality. Look out, he's got a knife.
Palpatine is beaten to death, and the clones were later cleared of all wrongdoing. With his death, there is no one to obstruct the proceedings that reveal the full extent of the inhibitor chips. It reveals just how far the secret commands were prepared to go, and convinces the galaxy to remove the inhibitor chips in all clones. All of this ensures the clones continue to serve the Republic. But amidst the chaos, Dooku has also been busy. He used the opportunity to consolidate power within the CIS, instituting his vision of what should be. When the war continues, it drags on for several more years, until at last a peace deal is struck. With the Republic weakened by these internal matters, they must reluctantly relinquish control of the Outer Rim. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.